Sports games suck, especially modern ones. EA squirts out new yearly sports games as hard and as fast as grandma squirts on the living room furniture. Recent sports titles are essentially gacha games, except every year EA resets your account back to nothing. People spend thousands of dollars per year trying to pull Ronaldo for their virtual team, and he's not even a waifu. It's like breaking open a piñata, but instead of a bunch of candy falling out, it's a bunch of fentanyl. So hit a blinker off that fent pen and smash your mule pecker onto that subscribe button. Today I'm going over some of the sports games that don't suck the corn out of my poo.
It's called hentai, and it's art.
NFL Blitz is what it would be like if the NFL allowed unrestricted steroid use in their league, and it's awesome. Developed by Midway, NFL Blitz started out as an arcade exclusive in 1997, later being ported to the N64 and PlayStation. While the game is similar to American football in terms of its structure, penalties and rules are essentially abandoned. Players are fully permitted to destroy each other during regular play. You can grab opposing players' face cage and throw them around the field like a giant baby, as well as leg drop and body slam other players even after the play is over. Gameplay is super fast. There's no simulation or realistic elements here. It's all ridiculous action and big football guys penetrating each other. Players move around the field like crazy. There's no momentum building or footwork to consider. Players just rocket to full speed in less time than it takes to bake a blumpkin pie. Late hits, showboating, pass interference, as well as straight up pro wrestling moves are all permitted. After Midway lost the NFL license, they continued the Blitz format with Blitz the League in 2005, which featured fictional pro teams and players. The over-the-top aspect of the series returned, but a little less restrained due to the NFL no longer being involved to ruin everyone's fun. As a result, Blitz the League received an M rating, and for good reason. You can perform dirty hits on the field, sometimes resulting in Mortal Kombat-esque X-ray animation showing severe injuries to your players. Not only is this awesome, it's also no big deal. If you need a particular star player in tip-top shape for an upcoming game, just inject them full of illicit, performance-enhancing jism to get them back on the field, health risks be damned.
A jizz of mayonnaise is required.
The league also features an over-the-top story mode that shows some of the shady and gross aspects of the professional sports world and the business practices that take place behind the scenes. Way more entertaining than watching this stupid sport on TV. You start by creating your own professional team, choosing your own logo and team colors and name. I went with Pulverizing Pussy Pounders. The story begins with your former star quarterback getting his shit pushed in by the game's villain linebacker. The resulting loss sending your little old team back to the lowest division in the league. It's up to you to make your way back up to the top division and make all the sick kids in the children's hospital's wishes come true through copious use of performance-enhancing drugs. NFL Blitz and its spiritual successor, the League, are essentially some of the most fun you can have while still looking at something loosely resembling the sport of football.
Oh, fuck. I can't believe you've done this.
The most boring sport in the entire world is easily golf. I would rather stick my thumb up my ass and sneeze and let my balls explode than watch or play a single round of golf. Luckily, Nintendo decided to deliver us from the intense boredom with Mario Golf. Originally releasing for the N64 in 1999 and developed by Camelot, the Golden Sun guys, Mario Golf sees Mario and a bunch of his dumb friends play a simplified game of golf on Super Mario-themed courses. There are 11 playable golfers to choose from, each one with their own attributes that affect the way they perform. The game is easy to pick up and play, with a 3-button press mechanic in place that governs distance and accuracy of your shot. Just push the A button to start your swing, again to determine distance, and once more to determine accuracy, pressing in time with the little bar that moves across the bottom of the screen. There are a few factors that change the dynamic of the game, such as wind direction, ball spin, and topography of the course. The version that I'm more familiar with is the Game Boy Color version. It's still a simplified game of golf, with a lot of the charm that comes from the Mario license and themes, with a few cool features that are absent from the N64 version. There's actually a full-on JRPG in here. You start the game choosing and naming your own character, then you're introduced to the game world where you can walk around the place and advance the story. Completing side quests and finishing rounds of golf award you with experience points, and after leveling up, you can assign skill points to various stats that can improve different aspects of how your character performs in the most boring sport ever created. Mario Golf also has a few transfer pack features that allows players to transfer some data and characters between both editions of the game. There's actually 4 golfers in the N64 version that are unavailable without unlocking through using the transfer pack. If you, for some reason, want to play a golf game, one that doesn't make you want to insert all of your clubs into your butthole, Mario Golf is a great choice.
Are you stroking your cock?
No, I want to stroke yours. I'm going to take you down the creek and chop your goddamn...
I'm not the biggest wrestling fan. I mostly like the silly shit.
Ready, El de los infumables. ¡Ah! ¡Qué bueno que le pasa! Ahí va, mira nada más.
¿Cómo pierde?
Cayó como pasajero.
But my wife loves it for some reason. After a few minutes of Monday Night Raw, I need an air compressor to blow all the juice out of her snatch. Even without the soaked couch cushions, I can admit that SmackDown Here Comes the Pain is super fun. Before the 2K series slogged gameplay down and attempted to make WWE games more of a simulation rather than fun, Ukes and THQ used to make ridiculous wrestling games. Here Comes the Pain is the ultimate culmination of the SmackDown series and is often cited as one of the best wrestling games ever made. It's not hard to see why. Realism is an afterthought in this game. Gameplay is super fast and flashy with simple controls that let any player just kinda do cool shit with basic button combinations. Simply combining a button push with a direction will give you a variety of different moves. Square button for strikes, circle button for grapple moves. Without diving too deep into the mechanics, these moves are more than enough to have a fun match with your dumb friends. Even though the character models have definitely aged, presentation is still great. All wrestlers have their own personal entrance, complete with music and announcer introductions, as well as their own finisher with its own unique animation. The Rock has the People's Elbow, Stone Cold has the Stunner, and Vince McMahon takes a shit on his secretary's face. There's an expansive story mode here as well. You can pick your favorite wrestler and start a unique playthrough with a ton of different routes you can take depending on the decisions you make. You can aim for certain championship titles and participate in all the stupid melodrama that WWE is known for with its writing. There's a ton of different game modes to choose from, ranging from regular one-on-one matches to Elimination Chamber and my personal favorite, hardcore matches. These matches let you just kind of walk around planet Earth and fight wherever you want. These backstage areas are filled with funny gimmicks to mess around with. You can go to a shipping area and run over your opponent with a forklift, drag them along by the throat while riding a motorcycle, electrocute them to death on electrical supply things, and free fall off a helicopter for some reason. Here Comes the Pain is apparently the last WWE game that let you explore and mess around with areas like these until all the way up to 2K17, which goes to show how much fun 2K games removed from the WWE games. If you want to see how fun wrestling games used to be before they became yearly cash grab schlop, Here Comes the Pain is one of the best wrestling games ever made.
Popeye's chicken sandwich. Popeye's chicken sandwich.
Despite my immaculate physique suggesting otherwise, I'm not the outdoorsy type. I've only been snowboarding once in my life, on a school trip, and I sucked at it. But unlike many other sports, I see the appeal. The actual sport of snowboarding is actually pretty cool. Naturally, sport has received some good video games over the years, one of the best being SSX Tricky. The second game in the SSX series, Tricky released in 2001 for 6th generation consoles under EA Sports Big, a publishing label that focused more on casual and extreme sports titles. This was back when EA was more willing to take chances on crazy sports games, instead of releasing whatever toxic sludge fell out of their decadent butthole that day. Tricky is an absurd and hilarious take on the sport of snowboarding, featuring stupid high airtime that lets the player perform a variety of different tricks, with characters' knees and spines exploding upon landing. You have standard tricks that are possible in real life, such as the reverse cavity search and the Dutchman's yeast infection. Pulling off tricks and other feats, such as grinding on floating rails and punching the shit out of other boarders, fills the adrenaline bar, and after filling it up all the way allows access to Uber tricks, which are the more flashy and unrealistic maneuvers in the game. It also starts to play Run DMC's It's Tricky while you play, an iconic part of the game's soundtrack and apparently an inspiration for the name. The main single-player mode of the game is called World Circuit, and is where you can unlock additional characters, boards, and alternate outfits. Race is exactly as it sounds, where you must place in the top 3 of 6 total borders across several races, and in Show Off, you're tasked with completing as many tricks as possible as you make your way down the course, racking up as many points as you can. As is tradition, EA continued to release SSX games that steadily decreased in quality until everybody kinda hated them. After SSX 3, the series dabbled in stupid trends like in Blur where they shoehorned in Wiimote motion controls, the number one way to shit all over an otherwise decent game. SSX Tricky is easily one of the most accessible and fun snowboarding games ever made. The soundtrack is awesome, the tricks are stupid and fun, you can't really go wrong with Tricky or SSX 3 for that matter.
Oh, these are pretty cool bananas.
I don't care how many people I piss off. Football, or soccer if you're civilized, is incredibly boring. The most interesting parts of the game are when brain-dead fans riot, players get lightly brushed by an opponent and pretend like they just got shot or something, or a streaker runs out and takes a shit in the middle of the pitch. I initially didn't want to include 2 different Mario sports titles in this video, but it's really hard to make soccer interesting. Most games fail to accomplish that with their stupid accuracy and realism. If I wanted to recreate the feeling of playing soccer, I'd stick the vacuum cleaner to my asshole and let it suck my entire body out until I disappear into the ether like the house from Poltergeist. Mario Strikers released for the GameCube in 2005 and was actually the final Mario game released for the platform in Japan and North America. As with Mario Golf, Mario Strikers features the same basic gameplay and objective of the game it's emulating, but with Mario flair. Teams are comprised of one main Mario character as the captain, a goalkeeper, and 3 nobodies. The basic moves of a lot of soccer games are here, such as dashing and tackling, with players not in possession of the ball able to beat the shit out of opposing players. There are a number of different Mario items to use during gameplay as well, such as bananas to slip up opponents, green shells that fly all over the place, bob-ombs, and a chain chomp if the losing team is willing to commit war crimes in order to win. Through regular play, the team captain can charge up a Super Strike, which is a timed button press minigame that, if successful, results in a goal counting for 2 points. Bowser can make occasional appearances during gameplay, smashing his fat cock all over the pitch to disrupt the game. Mario Strikers is also notable for its slightly darker take on the Mario universe. The color palette of the game is a bit more muted, and the game can get a bit more violent than what you may expect Nintendo to be okay with. You can slam opponents into an electrified wall of the stadiums. The Super Strike animations are less cartoony and a bit more serious in tone, with characters going Super Saiyan and launching the ball like a rocket. And the Nintendo Giga League showed some scrapped wrestling move animations that unfortunately didn't make it into the final game. One of the most notable things to me that I discovered while checking out the game is its competitive scene. The highly illegal and immoral act of emulating a Nintendo game on the Dolphin emulator, which you should never do for any reason, can now support online play. And the people that participate in Mario Strikers online play have discovered a surprising amount of depth and strategy involved, with a higher skill ceiling than the game may show on its surface. There's an entire competitive scene that has slowly sprouted up and gained momentum for this game over the years, and it's awesome to see. Mario Strikers came out at a time when if you bought a soccer game, you could just play it and not have this entire mini-economy gotcha system built in to drain you of every last dollar on your mom's credit card. Gameplay is fast and solid, with a lot of Mario charm and gimmicks.
You wouldn't recognize a goddamn vampire if one jumped up and bit you on the end of your fucking dick.
Basketball games have unfortunately been subject to the exact same treatment as pretty much every other sports game since about 2015. Yearly releases with no gameplay changes, inane microtransactions for just about everything, and in-game advertising as if the games don't make enough money. But it wasn't always like this. We used to get some pretty awesome basketball games in arcades and at home. NBA Jam is among the best ever made. NBA Jam was the inspiration for NFL Blitz, and even has the same developers, Midway, as well as starting out as an arcade exclusive. The game features some over-the-top and greatly exaggerated 2-on-2 basketball. Players are able to defy human capabilities by jumping like 20 feet in the air to score slam dunks. Elbows and shoving are perfectly legal, with no penalties or free throws as a result. If a player scores 3 times uninterrupted, they become on fire, granting them unlimited turbo and increased accuracy. The ball itself also ignites into flame and singes the net when it's dunked. This state remains until the opposing team scores or the player scores 4 additional baskets while in the on-fire state. There's a few Easter eggs and secrets hidden in the game and its various ports as well. Some of the most infamous being a playable Bill Clinton, who runs around getting his tiny dick sucked, Hillary Clinton, who Pokemon goes to the polls, and Al Gore before he invented the internet. There's also a playable tank minigame in the arcade version, activated by both joysticks being pointed down in a flaccid position, and each side holding down all 6 arcade buttons before the card is showed on screen. NBA Jam has left a lasting legacy in the history of basketball video games and sports games in general. The phrases "he's on fire" and "boom shakalaka" are both closely associated with NBA Jam, and have even leaked into other forms of media. These memorable lines have also made their way into popular sports culture as a whole. The impact NBA Jam and its numerous ports have had on gaming and sports culture cannot be understated. The gameplay remains super fun to this day, and it's easily not just one of the best basketball games ever made, but one of the best sports games in general. You barely have to even be aware of basketball as a sport to really enjoy NBA Jam. There's my list of sports games that don't suck a big ol' wiener. If you enjoy the video, please booty cheek clap that subscribe button, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.